This is Mike. I'm checking in. I wanted to make something for my young people. I wanted to write some stuff out, and I wanted to give them an idea of when you graduate high school, when you start working full time, you run across the job, you get the job saying, oh, yeah, we'll give you you could start out at this, but as you get older, you don't want to stay like this. I wanted to write this out. I want to give you an idea of how life, being responsible, and I'm talking about average bills according to Google. This is average. This is not with taxes. This is not with benefits. The salary of $40,000. Not knocking $40,000. All I'm saying is I'm trying to give you an idea that there is more to obtain, not from a greedy standpoint, but from a comfortable standpoint. And you're going to find out when I explain to you what I mean by that. All I'm saying is don't fall for you don't need a degree, you don't need education, or you don't need a skill set. You need, at the minimum, you need to know your skill set and what value it brings to you. And the next thing is you need education, depending on how far you want to go in the corporate world. I fell for that, and I'm telling you right now, I'm in school right now, going full-time and working full-time. And I'm telling you, I learned this when I was young, probably when 17, 18, understanding how disciplined you got to be to pay bills, and in between your pay periods to sustain between those until you get paid again, plus pay bills. So I'm going to break this down. I looked it up on Google. I just did some average stuff because I don't want to pick on nobody. This is just average, average Joe Blow person. 19, 20, I guess, single with no kids. Now, if you throw kids and, family, wife into this, everything changes. This is it'll get even crazier, but we just doing average person, single, living on $40,000. Let's say you work for the state or something. You work for a retail place or something like that. They give you $19, $20 an hour. People, So most bills are due. Utility bills are due at the beginning of the month. Lights, water, gas. Anybody that stays in the house, anybody that stays in some apartments pay the utilities, but most of them, or not most, but some, you have to pay the utilities. If you live in a house, you have to pay the utilities. They're not paid. Let's say so you live in a house. Lights, water, gas. I looked up the average according to Google.com. Light bill, $90 according to Google. $60. Gas, $100. And cell phone, $127. Average rent is $932, and that may be going up with inflation coming. Maybe going up. It could be cheaper than that, depending on where you live at, but most people don't want to live probably nowhere cheaper than that. The basics, if you just do the basics together, lights, water, gas, and rent, you're looking at $1,189. And that's due. Probably all this is due probably by the 15th of the month. You got to have that paid by the 15th of the month. If not, they probably gonna send you a notice, give you a warning, and then if you don't pay it by then, they come and turn it off. That's just how it works. But you wanna have that paid by the 15th, all of this, because the mortgage is really due on the 1st of the month, or the rent. Some people give you a grace period of 15 days because they know people get paid bi-weekly or stuff like that. So you want to pay lights, water, gas, and rent, $1,189. If you're making $40,000 bi-weekly, you're bringing home $1,538. Now, this is without benefits. This is without taxes. This is just a baseline average of how much $40,000 is. If you work at a career or like a company, like a hospital or something like that, you're gonna benefits come out before it touches your hand. Taxes come out. Anywhere, taxes gonna come out before it touches your hand. So, but I'm just gonna do the average without benefits and taxes. If you pay the first half of the month, if you pay these bills, which are required, you can do some shuffling however you want to do it. You will have $311 left over until you get paid again. So, you know, you get paid every 2 weeks. You got to make that last for 2 weeks. Now, we're not factoring in gas, $50 to $60 maybe, depending on what kind of car you drive, for a full tank of gas, or $25 to $30 for a half tank of gas. Now, this is the average car. It could be more, depending on what you're driving. What if your car only takes premium gas? What if you're driving a truck with a bigger gas tank, bit more gallons? You got to think about that now. The food costs. If it's just a single person, you know, I know when I was young, in my 20s, I didn't have to buy a bunch of stuff, you know, compared if you was family grocery shopping, but you'll still end up spending close to $100 just on groceries, just basic meats, eggs, or cereal, milk, bread, stuff like that. And you can rack up to $100 pretty quick, especially now with prices going up. Just not even including if you go out to eat at your job or the cooking and stuff like that. Are you going to cook every day? Or are you going to eat lunch at your job every day? You know, you could be looking at 10, 15 bucks, and that's cheap. That's on the cheaper end of going out to eat every day. And that could add up. I mean, you got to think, you know, 20 bucks 5 days, that's $100. And you got 300 that you got to make last. And then you can shuffle it around, but it's still, you're only going to have so much to be flexible with. Second half of the month, average car note, I looked up 609, or used car 465. That probably is way up with the prices going up. Unless you got like really good credit, maybe, but most of the time it's more than this. Like a lot of these newer trucks that they are pushing out there, they're way more. They could be double. Easy, no problem. You want to go foreign? You want to, you know, get like the newest BMW or newest Mercedes? It's not going to be this unless you got really good credit. You put some money down. It's not going to be that. That's just average. Car insurance, they have to auto deduct this out. Some of them you can pay up front, some of them out, but it's for a year, $1,189. Now, this is not including age. This is just the average. When you're younger, and depending on what kind of car you get, it could be more than that. If you get a ticket and it hits your record, it could be more. It could jump up. It can be more than this. You have to be so disciplined to keep your bills at a certain place where it can be affordable. And I'm trying to get the young people to think about that. When you turn 18, 19, you have to live on your own. It's a whole nother ball game to be able to pay your own bills, stay within your means, and not trying to live outside of your means by doing stuff that's extra that you don't have to do. Now, cell phone bill, internet, basic internet, maybe $80. If it's not less or more, most average I'm saying about $80. Usually it's more than that. If you want like gigabit speed, it's more than that. It's like almost like $100 a month. But I'm gonna do 80. So cell phone, 127, average cell phone bill. That could be more, especially if you want unlimited data and all that. Car note, car insurance, you're looking at $915. Now, like I say, you can move some of that around, or it can go up to 4 or 5, and they can go to 7. It just depends, but it's still you got to make that last too. What if something happened where you live? What if something happened to your car? What if you have to get a new tire? Oil change, other maintenance parts on your house, HVAC filters, something break. We ain't talking about clothes, shopping for clothes. As an adult, you can burn through what's left over here. You can shift it to however you want. You can burn through $600 as an adult really fast. Really fast. Just going out to eat, putting gas in your car. You got to think, if you fill your car up, 50, 60 bucks, you're down in the 500s. You go get some food, now it's 400. You go out to eat for the week, $20 for 5 days, now you're down to 300. You have to get some clothes. Who knows how much you spend on that? More socks. You're not thinking about washing your clothes, washing powder. It's a lot of stuff as an adult that you don't think about that your parents were doing or you didn't take care of, that you have to buy those little things. You got to think washing detergent, dishwashing liquid, towels, having towels for your house. Towels are expensive. They cost money. Tissue costs money. It's so many other costs that if I was to put on this board, you probably could fill this board up with like costs and stuff like that. But if you just on a basic level understand, now when you're young and single, you probably can make this work, make this flexible and try to shuffle and all that. But when you start getting higher, like in your 20s and 20, 25, 30, it's gonna get rough because the operating cost of being an adult will burn through that, no problem. You want to hang out, you got to think about that when you got that left over. If you want to be responsible and disciplined, like I say, you can burn through that you can burn through that. After all your bills is paid, you got that left over, you can burn through that real fast. No problem. You can burn through that, no problem. No telling other dudes that you have, if you got any other dudes or clubs you're a part of, who knows? I don't know. It's a lot of stuff as an adult that you have to pay. And this is just the basics. We're not even talking about memberships. Let's say you want a Sam's Club card. You got to pay for that annually. That could be so much a year. Let's say credit cards. I didn't even put credit cards on here. Let's say if you got a credit card and, you had to use it for something and then the bill come up and, you got to figure out how you gonna pay the extra bills on that now. All I'm saying is really think about your skill set and how can you level up. Because I'm telling you, living like this, I'm telling you from experience, is not the funnest thing in the world. It'll teach you discipline the hard way if you want to stay within this and you don't want to be, left out there in the dust. You want to really stay on top of your stuff, but you have to level up. You have to get your education. You have to go to an apprenticeship. You have to get a skill set so your value can increase, so you can go from this 40 to, let's go say you go up to making 50 and 60. Now you have a little bit more left over. And I want to tell the young people that when I was young, I didn't think that you can make over $100,000 in Little Rock, because I never knew nobody that made that kind of money. But I'm telling you that it is possible. But in order to get to that level, you have to have education. It's kind of like you got to have the keys to entry, the keys to open the door. But getting there, especially for for minorities, we have to have a little bit more than our counterparts, or because they ask for masters, at least bachelors. And when you start getting into the 150, 160 and up, they want you to have a master's or doctoral degree. Now, people say, I don't need my education. If you go get your bachelor's degree, let's say if you start at 18, 4 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2 more years, 22, 23, then another 2 or 3 years, 23, 24, 25. When I say 26, I give you an extra year. Now you can apply and be eligible for these jobs. And you can do these jobs until you get old. And you can get a head start and have this done by the time you're 25, 26. You can have all your educational needs out the way. And all you're doing at that point is going out there and getting the best deal and getting the best compensation for your value. That's where you want to be. So by the time you're 30, you are already halfway down the path of getting your max value and compensation. And you know one thing about value, somebody's always willing to pay for value. Somebody always willing to pay for the skill set, especially if they need it. Companies now are competing with each other. They're giving away money. But if you don't have the requirements that they want you to have to get it, then you're not going to get it. And I get the part, everybody want to talk about race and everything. I get that. But before you even get to the race, you still have to understand the skill set. Because a lot of times, the way things are going now, skill set is starting to take over. I'm just telling you from what I see. If you have the skill set, people will give you a chance. They will let you in. Now, there's some places that still do whatever they want to do. They don't have the diversity. I understand that. But there are more and more doors starting to open to people that have the skill set to go in and do the job. And that's all I'm saying. I want my young people to understand that education is a tool. The skill set is another tool. You have to do the research and pick the right field to educate yourself in. You have to understand that. I'll talk about that later. I can go into detail on that later, but what I'm trying to get you to see is that when you start getting 25, 26, 27, 20, 28, 29, and 30, you'll burn through that, no problem. Matter of fact, if anybody got any comments, let me know. You'll burn through that, no problem. Some states, this is Little Rock. This is Little Rock, Arkansas. But some states, you probably barely can live off that in some bigger cities. But even here, with stuff going up, you'll burn through that. You'll burn through that, no problem. Easy. No problem. And I'm trying to get you to think that when you get out of high school, you need to hit the ground running and figure out what it is your skill set is in, how to maximize that skill set to get your max value, and how to get yourself to a point to where you're fully independent, can pay all your bills, and have money left over to do leisure things and be comfortable instead of trying to survive between check to check. That's all I'm saying. The time that you have when you graduate to you about 30, that is time to invest in your future, your career. And then once you get that out the way, and then you start living the lifestyle that you want. Because you can't live a certain lifestyle if you don't have the resources to live it. Now you're starting to live beyond your means, and that's dangerous. So I'm trying to give the young people something to understand that once you turn 18, 17, 18, it's all you. It's on you at that point. You got to make good decisions. You got to have a strategy. If you don't, get with somebody. Be willing to sit down and make a strategy. Leave something in the comment section. I don't mind talking to people. Let me know. Me and my brothers, we got a podcast, the Thinking Game podcast. This is the kind of stuff we talk about. We really want to give our young people the advantage and understand that once you graduate, you got to have something planned out or a strategy. You need to make and develop one. Or, like my teacher told me, you're either going to make you a plan or you're going to be somebody else's plan. And I'm signing out on that note. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a while, but I've been trying to do schoolwork and I'm on spring break now. So I wanted to make this to let the youth know that this is okay once you get out of high school, but by the time you hit that 25 to 30 mark, I'm telling you, things will be different. I'm telling you. You'll burn through it so fast. So this is Mike signing out. Thanks for watching my channel. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.